So, hello there. Editor SEGASLAYER64 here with a bit of I guess you could say an announcement. I'm just trying to say that while I'm in the middle of editing this video, I happen to realize that, yeah, I'm pretty much screwed because I happen to realize that, in this video, I do have, like I said, I mentioned this in the video, but I said in the video that my mic, I just got the Akuma mic again, so I have the ability to control the mic, and I realized that I might have had the mic a little bit too close to my mouth in this video. So if I sound a little bit loud, I just want to say that is why. Next video, it should sound better because I'll play around with what should be the perfect distance of the mic from my mouth. But I am excited to have this again because I can control it as best as I want to. But if it sounds a little bit too loud, please turn down your headphones, and I'll just give headphone users a little warning right here, right now. I am just a bit loud in this video. I'm working on this video, I'm editing it, adding transitions, but I realized I was just a little bit too loud and stuff in this video. So again, please, I apologize. Just got the mic, still haven't used it in a while, and then again, this is my first time ever using it on PC, so I am still getting used to that. So like I said, just cut me a little bit of slack. It'll be better next time, but if it is just a bit too loud, I recommend turning down your headphones, and you should be fine. That being said, thank you for checking out the video. Hey Slayers, I'm the world's coolest Sega enthusiast, SEGASLAYER64, and welcome to the show. Welcome to Sega Slayer Complains, the show in which I spend time complaining about something that no one else cares about. And today we have a special episode. But before we get into that, we need to talk about three different things first. Three. The first one, and probably the biggest, the first one is probably pretty small in the grand scheme of things, but you can probably tell I upgraded my mic. And essentially, I went back to the old Akuma mic I used to have. It broke originally, and I got another one now, so I hope the video quality sounds better. I like these mics the most because I can do things like I think the biggest advantage to them is I can move it as close or as far away from my mouth as I like. And they have those it's a very big and comfortable headset, and I love that. And it has, with this mic, I can control where it is at all times, and I think I like that more than anything about this headset. But yeah, that's a small thing in the grand scheme of things. Let me know how you like the sound. I hope it sounds good. That being said, we have two more things to talk about. The second one is probably the biggest of all of them, and that is Sega Slayer. You said today was going to be the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing bonus episode. Well, let's get this out of the room. Let's get this out of the way right here, okay? I could not record the bonus episode, and there's a very good reason I couldn't record the bonus episode. And that is because, look, if you go right here, you will notice that I've brought some of the characters. Well, I still have a lot left. I still have 5 more characters left to get. And I thought doing missions and stuff, I thought grinding this whole time, I still have 13 stages left to get. And I still have 30 music tracks left to get. It's like grinding missions and all that hasn't been helping me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start grinding some more now. But I just didn't have enough time to grind to get everything, and I really need to have everything unlocked for the bonus episode. So it's safe to say the bonus episode will be coming next week. I'm not going to say Monday, I'm not going to say Thursday, Wednesday, or Friday, but it will be coming sometime next week. I just had to get that out of the way real fast because I did say it was coming Wednesday. It is now Wednesday. Actually, I'm recording this on Tuesday, and there's just no way I had enough or will have enough time to grind enough to get enough Sega mods to actually unlock all that within, this little bit of time. It's already late at night, man. I'm going to start grinding during this video. That's why we're playing this game for the video. Usually with Sega Slayer Complains, we just play any random game. We're going to be playing this today because I want to grind while doing this. So, I should get that out of the way. I think we're going to grind some, I'm going to grind a few of the Grand Prix while talking. But yeah, and I'm actually just going to play as, I'll play as a little this time. But yeah, I'm going to be grinding some of these while talking. But yeah, second off, the last thing in the room is the emulator tutorial will be coming this week. It will be coming because I did promise this a few weeks ago that the Sega Slayer 64's guide to PC emulation would be coming. I said that a few weeks ago, but then the Road Rash video got in the way, and a couple more things got in the way, and like I said, this month, I have a good catalog of videos I want to make. So, like I said, I'm pretty booked when it comes to stuff. In fact, today I had to because I was so booked, and a bunch of other videos I'm working on are not ready. So I had to improvise and do this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah, that's how that goes. This was actually one of the videos I was gonna do this month, but I just didn't get around to it. So now that I have an open slot, I figured this video wasn't going to get done till next month, but now that I have an open slot. But yeah, besides the point, the emulator tutorial will be coming Friday, regardless. Even if I have to split it up in like two parts, the SEGASLAYER64's PC guide to PC emulation will be coming for sure this month. This week, Friday. You don't have to worry, it will be out this week. That being said, let's get into the topic of today's video. So essentially I've already explained this, but SEGASLAYER64 complains. If you're new to this series, essentially what I do is complain about different things that are going on, maybe in the gaming world at that time, or period. It doesn't just have to involve gaming. Like I did one on copyright, and a lot of people said that was their favorite one, you know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that one did good, and But right now, what I want to talk about today, the main topic of today's SEGASLAYER complaints, and we got a big one. So some of you might have heard, right, that the PlayStation 3, PlayStation PSP or PlayStation Portable, and PS Vita the stores will be closing soon, and that is devastating news. It really is, because while I didn't grow up with a PSP, a PS Vita, or PS3, I was an Xbox 360 kid, I was a DS kid, and then I was a 3DS kid. I own all of those now. I own every single one of those now, including a PSP. Well, I don't own a PSP. Martian owns a PSP, but I still, I kind of own one. I don't own it, but the point is, I've played a real PSP. There's a real PSP in my house. I'm looking at it right now. And then I just recently brought a PS Vita, which is sad, which makes that whole ordeal kind of sad, because I just recently brought it. And then I literally, and you might think this is a joke, right? Some of you might not believe me when I tell you this. I brought this PS Vita a week before this announcement was made. Okay, this arrived exactly 1 week before the announcement was made. Well, hold on. The announcement was made. Well, before this, it was still speculation. So, I ordered it before anything even happened, and then, 2 days after I ordered it, the news article had came out, and at that point, everyone was saying, okay, this might be an April Fool's joke. Take this, April Fool's joke. Take this with a grain of salt. Don't, I never went this way. I wanted to see. I wanted to see, and yes, it is a real way you can go. It is a bit riskier though, but hey, I never knew it, and I never knew that was there. But yeah, everyone was saying take it with a grain of salt. It might not be true. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's probably an April Fool's joke. And so I kind of brushed it off. And I was a little sad at first when I first saw it, but then I kind of brushed it off. And then, my PS Vita arrived, and I was playing it, and I got into it, and I, got a few games, hacked it, and, just spent a good week/weekend with the system. It's a really fun console. I got around to playing The Walking Dead, the complete first season, and I'm about to go on the second season in a few days. I want to start on it. But right now, and then I got a chance to play Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. Then I was playing Killzone, and just so many great games right then and there. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, which is actually not a good game. The game is good itself. It was interesting. But then I got halfway through the story, and the game decided it was going to get stuck in a loading glitch. And that happens a lot of times. That game is very unstable on all consoles, but really on PS Vita, especially if you get the game digitally. Some people were saying if you get it physically, you won't have any problems, but getting it digitally, you will have problems. I got it digitally, and yeah, I had problems. And only way to get out of the loading glitch was to restart all my progress, but I didn't want to do that because, well, I made it far, and then the second off, someone had said they restarted their progress, and then in the exact same place, they got stuck at the loading glitch again. Other people said they didn't, but then, a couple more other people said they did, so it was kind of a mixed bag, and I wasn't going to take the chance of restarting my whole save date, and, restarting from the very beginning just for it to still not work. And I didn't want to do it, so I was just like, screw it, and I didn't finish the game. It was getting really good. I was really interested, but that happened, and I just kind of said screw it. But yeah, that's besides the point. I got the game. I had the system. It was fun for a week. Everyone was still talking about the rumors, and I was like, it was starting to get a little bit more news coverage, and I'm like, this is getting really scary. But then I watched this channel called PS Vita at 2 a.m., and I was watching him long before I got my PS Vita, and he was really the guy who made me want a PS Vita, so that's why I really got one. And plus, I wanted to play Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, and a couple more, and Jet Set Radio on the go on the PS Vita and all that. A couple more, because, I didn't have anything else. And all the PSP games I wanted to play on the Vita, because if you have a hacked Vita, you could just play whatever you want, regardless of if you're running adrenaline or not. So, that's really good. And maybe I'll make a video one day showing off what's on my hacked Vita, because a lot of people do that, and that sounds really fun. I'll be glad to do that for you guys one day. So that'll be that video will come out one day, what's on my hacked PlayStation Vita. I'm actually, speaking of that, I'm going to be making how to hack your Nintendo 3DS tutorial in a little bit, because I'm going to be hacking my 3DS for the first time ever. I know I never seen the need to really hack my 3DS before this, because the games were still new at that time, so I wasn't gonna hack it for piracy, and then also because I had an R4 card, so it was like, what could a 3DS? I mean, I know it would offer me more power emulators. I did not know you could do that, but I was just like, what? I have this R4 card. It's doing me pretty well. I don't see a reason to risk hacking my 3DS. I hack all my other consoles, just not the 3DS. So I was like, nah, I'm not even gonna waste my time attempting to hack the 3DS. Especially doing it on a phone. I hacked a lot of consoles, but a lot of people said the 3DS was a very risky console to hack, and it was early on, because Nintendo would ban you. Nintendo would send out a lot of bans quick, and considering I don't play 3DS games online really anymore. Back in the day when I did actively play 3DS games online, that would have been a problem, but now I don't play 3DS games online. I mostly play them either multiplayer, or, download it, play local multiplayer, if I play 3DS games multiplayer at all. So, I'm not worried about that anymore. Plus, they don't sell games anymore, so piracy is no longer a thought in my mind. I mean, you can still get them on eShop, but it's like, how long does that have left? I'm getting way off topic. The point of the video is, this news came out, everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, okay, what if this really is true? Okay, so a week after, I got my Vita in my hands from Japan, because I have a Japanese orange. Okay, I'm getting so far off topic, but I have a Japanese model Vita, and after that, about a week after I actually received mine, and I was playing it. It was already hacked. I was playing a bunch of great games, and I was happy. You know what I'm saying? This news broke, and Sony officially announced it, and I was devastated, because I'm like, okay, I literally just brought the console, and this is what you do to me. And don't get me wrong, okay? I spent a pretty penny on that Japanese system, okay? Orange Neon, I spent a pretty penny on that sucker. I got a brand new. I spent a nice amount of money on that system. So for this to happen, like, okay, let's just say I brought it for like $3 something new. I got it, and you could have. Well, they said it was new, and I got it for that price, and it looked new. It was either new or it was in really good condition, but I got it for like $3 something, and it's like, I could have brought a Nintendo Switch with that, so, I already have a Nintendo Switch. I don't need another one, but still, the point remains that, okay, I was investing a lot into this just to play PSP games, considering I could have got an original PSP for $80. Martian got his for $100, and it came with the memory card and the battery. Okay, so, I could have got a PSP for very freaking cheap. I decided to get the Vita because I wanted to play some more of the Vita games, which, don't get me wrong, they're worth it. Those Vita games are worth it. If you, some of those games are like I said, man, from just playing like The Walking Dead, the Telltale Walking Dead on the go, that is crazy to me. I'm still surprised that for that technology, for the time, that came out, it was doing that, man. It was a Switch before the Switch. You know what I'm saying? So the Vita is definitely worth it in that regard. The games are worth your time. I wish it would have sold more, but like, okay, so I get it. I get the Vita, and then a week later, Sony officially announces that the stores are closing, and I'm devastated, man. I'm like, really? I just bought this console. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how I want to word this. Do I openly? I mean, I highly doubt Sony's gonna take any action against me. I highly doubt they'll even see this video. So yeah, piracy, okay? I wasn't worried about it anyway. It wasn't much of a big deal to me because, you know, with a hacked Vita, you can do anything. So, you know, it wasn't too much of a big deal to me in the first place. It was just still kind of sad that I just brought the console. And just think of, that's not what made me mad. What made me mad is also the PS3 store and PSP is closing down. It's like, can you think about this? These people, there's people out here, and this is the main topic of the video now. People out here today want to talk about, oh, the all-digital future is king. We need the all-digital future. It's going to be the best. I can't wait for the all-digital future. I can't wait to ditch this physical stuff. And, you know, I'm pro-physical. I'll let you know right now. I'm pro-physical, so this video is extremely biased. Like, so far biased that I'm not even, they say there's benefits to all digital. I won't list one of them here. This is an extremely biased video. So I'll give you that disclaimer right now. It's meant to be biased. I'm not trying to hide the fact that I'm biased. This video is meant to be 100% biased. So if, you know, if that's not your thing and you want to go ahead, thank you for checking out the video. But yes, this video is 100% biased. I'm not even going to mention anything good about digital. It's just going to be all downhill from here for digital. But that's not the point. The point is, I got through a whole Grand Prix without even saying nothing. The point is, right, the point of this whole, of me talking about this is, they you know, this all digital future that everyone seems to want so bad, it's going to end up screwing you over. Because think about this, right? I want you to think about this. Think about how the PS3 store and the, okay, now let's look back at the 7th generation, okay? Let's look back at the 7th generation, okay? Out of the 7th generation, out of all the stores or online play, the only one that remains is the Xbox 360 store. And I give that maybe a year more, because it is kind of tied to, like, the whole Microsoft ecosystem is kind of the same thing. So maybe that might not go down. But out of all those consoles, the PS3 is about to be gone. The PSP is gone. The Wii is gone. The DS never had one, but it's, you know, the online service for the DS is gone. The Nintendo Wii online service is gone. How long does PlayStation Network have? You know what I'm saying? On those systems. Sony shut down the store. How long does PlayStation Network have before that's gone? That'll be gone any day now, too. Think about this. All that stuff is about to be gone. Think about everything that came out on Vita exclusively digitally, which is 99% of the games. Think about all those games that are about to be lost to time. They're gone. They're not coming back. Those games are about to be lost to time. And it's going to be sad. Think about the ones that people haven't dumped online. If you have a game, look, listen, and I'll give you this disclaimer. I ask this of you because I really do feel bad for all these developers who games are about to be lost to time. Because if you have a copy of any of these games, or you have a way to obtain a copy of any of these games, do us all a favor and dump them online if they are not dumped, okay? If you know you have a game that is not dumped, you should do the video game industry your service, your part, and dump one of these games online. Because, you know, a lot of these developers' hard work, I don't know if you guys know this, but the games you play cost money to make. They cost a lot of money to develop and a lot of time. And developers literally sink their lives into the games they make. And for it just to be lost like this, it's like, okay, with physical games, right? And you can make the argument, okay, physical games don't last forever either. That is a totally different argument, because physical games can be reproduced. Physical games can last pretty much forever as long as you take care of them. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we're going back to, like, cartridges. Yeah, that stuff can last forever. I mean, it's starting to decay. It is starting to decay over time. But as long as you, like, you know, stuff can be done to repair that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Physical games can be repaired. Even if we have to replace all the parts, they'll still work. You know what I'm saying? Not with digital. Once digital is gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? All this lost media that is about to be lost to time just because Sony wanted to be greedy and wanted to force who was ever. And you know, and I completely think this is a ploy by Sony just to be as greedy as they can. And you might not see it, but I can explain it to you right now. Sony, because I don't know anybody, but I still do. When I get on these consoles, when I get on the PS Vita, when I get on the PSP, and when I get on the PS3, there are a huge number of players still playing on those consoles. And this is an attempt by Sony to be as greedy as they can, to try and force those poor people who still play their PS3 or who still play their PSP or PS Vita over to the PS5 and PS4. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying their hardest to force whoever is still on those consoles to come over to the new consoles by closing the store. Next, the online will go, I promise you. And now all the games that were on that store, just like all the games that were on the Wii Shop, are gone. They're about to be gone. If it didn't have a physical release or it wasn't dumped online, that game is lost to time. There's about to be so many games lost to time on all three of these consoles. And this is why physical gaming will always be so much better. But we don't even have that nowadays. Look, physical games today are trash. They're trash. The disc might as well be trash. And you know why? Look. You know why this might as well be trash? Because if I go out and buy a new Xbox One game right now, guess what's not going to be on that disc? The game itself will not be on that disc, okay? And I've tested this myself, okay? The game itself will not be on that disc. No matter what game you buy, when you put that game into your console, you will either have to download a day one patch, or you will have to download. You will either have to download a day one patch, or you will have to download you will either have to download the day one patch or you have to download the full-on game itself. 9 times out of 10, the games aren't even on the disc anymore, and now you have to still download them off the store, meaning physical is really already gone. It really doesn't exist anymore. Sure, the consoles have disc drives, but at this point, it's just a novelty, man. It's just a novelty. It's like, come the freak on, man. When you lose these digital games, when you start losing all your purchases, right? When your hard-earned money is gone, then you'll start to understand. Because look, think about all the people, right, who are about to lose games on those systems because they don't have enough space to download them, or they have no way to download them from their library. They're about to lose so much money, $60 a game, you know what I'm saying? People are probably about to lose thousands, hundreds, of dollars that are just about to go down the drain for people. Maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars for people who own multiple of the consoles is about to go down the drain for them because Sony wanted to bring a few more players left from those generations over to the new consoles. Any game that you had digitally is about to be gone, dude. If you were a PlayStation player, your games are gone. It's not like now look, Microsoft, I can give Microsoft a little bit of slack in this debate somewhat, not fully, because a lot of their games do carry over if you do buy them, and that goes for most of their systems. So if I got Xbox 360 games that work on the Xbox One, they carry over as long as I'm using the same Microsoft account and digitally. That'll carry over, which that's where I do give them credit, but there's nothing like that for Sony. And even then, Microsoft's system is still flawed because, not all of those games will play on the new system. Now, on the Series X, all the Xbox One games will play on the Series X/S. So, I give them props. But even then, how long is that going to last? You know what I'm saying? But that's also just to say, like, Sony's system is completely, they don't have anything like that. Neither does Nintendo. These stores close down, you lose these games. Period. Right? Period. And the thing is, right, with the PS Vita, if PSN goes down, right? If they ever shut PSN down, you no longer have access to that. Like, you know, if PSN shuts down, you pretty much have no way to even hack your console. You know what I'm saying? If you don't already have a hacked console, it makes your system a brick. Your system essentially becomes a brick, and that's what it's going to become. And it's like, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. And then the all digital people, it's like, what do you expect? These servers cost money to stay online. So at the same time, I'm not mad at Sony. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at Nintendo for closing these stores, but I am also kind of mad at them because, it's like, dude, people are going to lose all their games. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't have, again, with Microsoft, where I applaud them because most of their games do carry over. And that is something I can truly respect them for, is that most of their games are going to carry over. You know what I'm saying? If I go on my Xbox 360 and download something like if I go on my Xbox 360 and go buy Halo 3, and then I turn on my Xbox One and then I play, and then I go and I install Halo 3, it will work just fine. Then I go buy a Series X, and then I want to install that same copy of Halo 3, it's gonna work just fine. So that I do give them props on that end. But for Sony and the stuff, when those games are gone, they're just gone. You're gonna lose all your money, man. So if you don't have games now, I recommend you download them to a hard drive. You download them to something where you can just keep them, say, dump them to your computer or something like that. And then these companies wonder why people go to such extreme methods, you know, to pirate stuff and all that. And all this mostly is they do this. They only do this so they can kill the used game market. That's literally their whole goal, is to kill the used game market. And I don't understand it. There's probably other ways you can go after the used game market. I don't know. Start making your own used game market. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, start collecting used copies of your game. Go with the GameStop model. You know what I'm saying? Why don't y'all create your own type of GameStop model where people can send their games back into you? You know what I'm saying? You guys will, you know, maybe pay them a little bit, you know, less than what they were worth, but still, and people could just come to y'all and pay secondhand prices for them. You know what I'm saying? That way, less people would be inclined to go to eBay, especially if they knew they would get one from the developer or publisher themselves. You know what I'm saying? It would be, y'all would still get every single dime of what would be coming your way. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, just something like that. You know what I'm saying? And they've been doing this for years. Okay. Well, I remember when EA, what they did was they had this code back in the day where you would have to, and this was like in 2000. I think it was like from 2008 to 2011 or 12. There would be this code that came in the game, right? And what happened is you would have to enter in that one-time code to play online, and it was unique to your console and your game. So it was a one-time code. You could never use it again. So if you took that code, right? If you took that code and brought a game new, let's just say you brought Battlefield back in the day, right? And you brought the game new and you wanted to play it online, you would have to enter in that one-time code. Now that you did that, right? Now, if you don't enter in the code, you can't play online, by the way. So keep that in mind. So you enter in this one-time code, and what ends up happening? You're able to play online, right? Well, a couple months down the line, you decide, you know what? I'm done. I beat this game. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with the online. It's not really fun anymore. Let me go ahead and sell this on eBay, right? So you go sell this to eBay, or you go sell it to GameStop. And guess what? Someone wants to buy the game, and then they take it home, and, you know, they're excited to play Battlefield online, and then they realize, wait a second, enter in the code. What code is that? So then, you know, you're nice enough. You think you're doing a civic duty by leaving your code inside of the box, right? If you do, some people wouldn't even leave the code in the box, but if you do, the people are like, okay, well, here we go. I just have to enter in the code, and I can play online. That code is a one-time use code. So meaning, you know how many copies of EA games there are out there now that can no longer be played online because people sold their original copies or just playing it on different consoles because EA thought that would be a good freaking idea to implement. Good thing that never caught on, by the way, because if it did, you know, that lots of online games wouldn't even be playable anymore. You know what I'm saying? But just like any attempt to try and kill the used market, you can. But even then, I would still prefer something like that on like single player games or, you know, games that have campaigns, because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So many good games, like these indie developers. Think about this right here. These indie developers out here today, indie games being so popular nowadays, I'm starting to believe indie games are even becoming a little bit more popular than like traditional games. Not that they are, but they are starting to get up there. Like indie games have become way more popular than they were just even from when I was a kid. Indie games are starting to become way more popular. But like nowadays, those indie games, right? If that store goes offline that they're being sold on, they lose out on whatever little dollars they could have got off of that store. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, right, it's not like they have a physical version to back up one. That physical version, they don't have a physical version. It's gone. Their game was only digital only. So this is actually going to hurt the indie game market as well as the like main like gaming market, okay? This all digital future is going to screw gaming over, and it's going to come back to bite us, I promise you. I promise you it will. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come back to haunt you, because the thing is, even if physical games can't last forever, they'll last a lot longer than what these digital games will. If all the PS3 games out there right now that are on, you know, that are physical, I bet you I can go still get a copy of them, and it's almost guaranteed to work. I promise you. But all these games that were digital only, they're lost to time, and guess what? Sony doesn't care. No one cares. You're about to lose so much money, and it's like you lose money because it's like when you buy a physical game, right? As long as you take care of it, you'll almost always have that physical game. It will be there. It will work, and you will be fine. You know what I'm saying? especially like even if we just look at like something like cartridges, like the Nintendo Switch, the physical games that do come out on that system are going to last a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I think, especially for something like the Switch, I think physical is a necessity. I hear with the Nintendo, I don't know if these are just rumors or what, but people are saying that, you know, the Nintendo Switch Pro is going to be coming out. And if that does come out, I heard a couple people saying, hey, it might be all digital. And if that is the case, that is going to suck, especially for a handheld console, an all digital system. And it's like, okay, now let's think about this also, right? Let's think about this. Another thing that I didn't even think about this. I never thought about this till just now. But guess what? Consoles are about to become all obsolete. After their deaths, they're going to become obsolete. And you know why? You know why they're going to become obsolete? Because, guess what? If you buy an all digital, let's say the Xbox Series S, right? Or the PS5 all digital edition, right? Let's just say when those stores close down and you don't have any game on that console. Look, when those stores close down and you try and buy a used version of a console, or even if you buy a new version of the console, and somebody was, you know, they decided to factory reset the console, guess what? Guess what? You have no way to get games on that system. You're screwed. You'll have no way to get games on that system. And you know, there might be people out there in the piracy crowd saying, oh, who cares? I'll just have piracy. You do understand it's going to be 10 times harder for you to pirate anything if it's all digital. It's going to be like 10 times harder, so you guys aren't even safe from this. You know what I'm saying? No one is safe from what's going on. Emulation people aren't safe because how are people going to dump games if games are going to be lost to time? It's just a never-ending cycle of pain, hurt, and despair. This all-digital thing is terrible for the gaming community, and certain people can't see it, but they really need to open their eyes and see it, because this is a terrible path we're going down for the gaming community, and Sony is leading the charge right now. Okay, Nintendo is leading the charge, Sony is leading the charge, Microsoft, they're doing a little bit better, but again, something like the Xbox Series S, when that system, when the store goes offline, and you buy a new, used, or new console of it, pretty much the moment the store goes offline on these consoles, they become paperweights. You know what I'm saying? Think about, I'm trying to give you a good example right now, right? I'm trying to think of a system, you know, let's just think about some of these systems right here, right? Take the Xbox One S or the Xbox One SAD edition. Just the perfect name, you know what I'm saying? The perfect name for it. The Xbox One SAD, okay? The SAD stands for Xbox One S All Digital Edition. But just think about this. When the Xbox store goes offline on the Xbox One, right? Guess what? Guess what? Oh yeah, I think you're starting to get the idea here. If you buy one of those consoles new, even if you buy it used, there won't be any games on there. Your console will be a paperweight. Consoles are becoming paperweights. That's what they're going to be. There's no excuse for it. Even PC gaming. You guys have been all digital for years, you know what I'm saying? But the PC, I do give a little bit of slack because it is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can still go on Steam. Steam will always be there, you know what I'm saying? And still redeem codes, or, you know, on PC it's a lot easier to, like, keep games and just, you know, release them on the internet. Essentially, PC gaming is kind of exhibit from this argument. Although I still think physical is better on PC too. In fact, my PC, one of the requirements for my PC was that it had to have a DVD drive, whether I had to install it myself, or whether I had to install the disk drive myself, or it came in the system. Luckily, it came in the system, and I didn't have to buy. I would have even brought an external one just to play whatever I needed to play. You know what I'm saying, or use whatever I needed to use. You know what I'm saying. But that was one of the requirements for my system. But it's like, even you guys, physical is better. I mean, digital games will almost always be there for you, but you guys over there on console, you guys are about to lose a lot of money. In fact, if I want to be honest with you, and this might be a little bit extreme, I will say this right now. It could be a little bit extreme, but I could see the all-digital future. As much as people saying they want it right now, as much as they're saying, oh, we need it, the all-digital future is going to be the king, it's going to be better, you know what I'm saying? I could see that leading to a sort of similar video game crash like the one that happened in the 1980s. I could see that leading to another one of those. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, video games are mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Almost everybody's a gamer. even if you're not a gamer, you're a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Even if you play games casually, almost everybody, and like, I'll just give you a statistic, and this is like a rough guess in my head, but if I had to argue, I'd say about 90% of people, at least here in the US, own some type of gaming system in their house. Even if it's something as simple as like an Xbox One or a Nintendo Switch, you know what I'm saying, a DS, a 3DS. I'd say I'll give a good statistic and say around 90% of homes here in the US own some type of gaming device in their house, even if they play games on their phone. So many people are playing games nowadays that something like an all digital, when people realize and start to realize, hey, I'm wasting money on these games. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to start wasting money, because guess what? When these stores start closing down again, and games you don't have downloaded or just can't download will be lost to time. Even if you loved them, even if they're all-time classics to you, they're going to be lost to time. I don't know why I attempted that. I tried. I really wanted to. It didn't work. But yeah, they're going to be lost to time. And you're just going to be sitting there looking stupid, thinking you're probably going to be mad. You're not even going to be looking dumb. You're probably just going to be freaking mad and super upset that, hey, you just lost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a gaming system because it was all digital and you couldn't download all your games back. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now, and you can't even use the argument, well, hey, storage is getting a lot bigger on systems. So, you know, as long as storage increases, you'll still be able to download as many games as you can, right? Well, guess what? As fast as storage is increasing on consoles, games are increasing in size double the. Okay, let me rephrase that. Okay. For every little inch for every gig, right? For every gig that storage goes up in consoles, games double by like 4 gigs. Okay, games are getting so big nowadays that it's taking something like the Xbox Series S is I think it only has 1 terabyte of storage. I don't even think it has that. I think it has like 256 gigs or something like that. But no, it is 1 terabyte. Now keep in mind, the system already takes up half of that storage. And the storage expansion is so expensive, it's actually crazy. But half the system files take up half of that terabyte. So in reality, you only have like 500 gigs on the Xbox Series S day one. Now, let's just say you're a Call of Duty Warzone player, right? You play Call of Duty Warzone, you love the game, you know what I'm saying? You get out and you just love to play it, right? Well, guess what? Call of Duty Warzone is 100 gigs right there, or 150 gigs on consoles. So let's see. Now you're down to about, let's see. You went from 500 gigs, so you'd be down to about 350 gigs. Let's see. You want to download Fortnite? That's about 80 gigs. So let's see. You're down to 2 something. You know what I'm saying? You want to download Apex? Again, you're looking at about another 100 gigs. You know what I'm saying? Now you have 100 gigs left. If that. You might even have less than that. So what are you going to download? Now most of these games are over 100 gigs and all that. You can't even download them. You know what I'm saying? With but look at this. With a disc, you pop it in. As long as it doesn't require any download files, like this shouldn't. When I buy a game physical, it should be physical regardless. But now, you know, a person who's popping in the disc, they don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about downloading things. You know what I'm saying? With disc games, or at least when they were still in their full form, you didn't have to worry about downloading something to play the game. Sure, updates would come out and you would want them. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't a necessity. Something like Sonic Unleashed. I remember I was surprised when Sonic Unleashed, and this was very recently too. I got on one of my old Xboxes, and I popped in one of my old Xbox 360s, because I do have multiple of them. One modded, I have another one that's not modded, and then I have another one that's not modded. But I popped in the system, you know what I'm saying? I got on, and I put in the disc, and I connected it to internet, and I was so surprised to see that Sonic Unleashed had an update. But I remember Sonic Unleashed had got an update, I don't know if it was like 2 years ago, or maybe it was like a year ago, something like that. It got an update pretty... Not recently, of course. It was years ago at this point, but it was like more recently than I thought it should have been. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, by the way, I hope you guys do know Sega still does produce Sonic Unleashed today. There is still copies at my local Walmart that I go to, and it's like if I buy one of them, they restock them. So Sega is still selling new copies of Sonic Unleashed. I just thought I should put that out there for anyone who didn't know. But it's like, Okay, that game I can plug it in regardless of whatever update there is and still play it, no problem. I cannot do that with something like I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of something that might take that abysmal game called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, right? That game is abysmal, but if you don't have the patches, there's nothing there. You can't even play it. So if the store closes down today on the Xbox store and I go buy a copy of that game brand new, I can't even use it. Why would you want to use it anyway? But I still wouldn't be able to use it, which sucks. It is terrible. That is a very terrible thing. You know what I'm saying? And it really does make me sad that the path we're going down. But like I said, how about when these parents start figuring out that they're losing money on these consoles? How about when these parents start? You don't have that security with digital like you do. What if Sony went bankrupt tomorrow? And of course Sony's most likely not to go bankrupt, or maybe ever. I'm not gonna say ever, because every company does go bankrupt at some point. No company can truly last forever. But like, what if a company like Sony, right, with their all digital edition PS5, what if they went bankrupt tomorrow and had to close the store down on the PS5, all digital edition? That system becomes, guess what? A hunk of plastic. That's what it is. A hunk of plastic and metal that you paid thousands. In some cases, people paid thousands of dollars for from scalpers. That system becomes a hunk of plastic, metal, and garbage. It's so useless to the point that what are you going to do with it? You're not going to get any enjoyment out of it. It's not good entertainment. It's just plastic. You know what I'm saying? You've lost everything on that system. And when parents or people start, it's going to take one bad experience for everything to go down here. When we enter the all digital world, it's going to take one bad experience. And I promise you, it'll take one bad experience for people and parents to say, you know what? Even just for kids themselves, it's going to take one bad experience for them to say, you know what? I'm not investing no more into this video game nonsense, because they will have spent thousands on kids or on the games that their kids wanted, or their friends or family members wanted, and then it'll just stop. It'll just be gone like that. And then that's when people will start to say, maybe gaming isn't as worth it as it used to be. And that's sad to say, but I could see another, like I said, this is a very extreme outcome, but at the same time, it is a possible outcome with all digital. It is a possible outcome. And then we also have people coming along like Google Stadia and all that, saying they're the future and streaming is the future. Sure, streaming is the future. Okay, you want streaming to be the future of gaming? I can't control it. I can't control it. I have to just roll with the flow. I'm gonna be a gamer whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm gonna remain a gamer regardless. So if streaming becomes the new thing, right? What about the people who have suck internet? Gaming is lost to them, and the gaming companies themselves, they're also gonna lose a lot of money. More and more places are starting to get internet, sure, but there's still places that won't always have it. You know what I'm saying? So what about if someone's living in a rural area and they can't download games digitally, or they can't stream games? Guess what? They're a customer that you just lost. You just lost that customer. There's no way you can reach them because you're in such an all digital streaming world that, guess what? If you don't have internet, or if you have terrible internet, if you have really bad internet, which some people do, you're not going to be... I tried Google Stadia. It worked okay for me. There were lags and stutters, but like, if you have bad internet, or you're really just far away from Google servers in the first place, guess what? Guess what? Say it with me now. You're screwed. Okay? You're done. You're over with. You have no way to sit around that. So now you just spent money on Google Stadia, and I'm just using Stadia as an example. Or let's just say Microsoft xCloud. How about PlayStation Now, I think it's called, right? I don't know. But you just spent money on that, and that's gone. And you don't have good internet enough to stream those games to your house. Or you have no internet at all. Guess what? That's gone. They just lost a customer, and you're going to be pretty freaking mad about money you wasted on something that you can't even use. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even to mention, again, with cloud streaming, when these servers shut down, guess what? Guess what? Say it with me now. you're screwed. You're done. There's no way to win. With this all digital future, it's gonna lead the gaming industry down a dark path, and I'm really sad to see it go down this path. I've been talking for a long time, so I'm gonna get ready to end this video on up in a few seconds, but it's just like we're going down a very dark and scary path in the gaming industry, and some people see this as the future and go like, oh well, and whatever, who cares, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. But I can sense that, like I said, this is an extreme thing, but I myself can see a gaming crash being a very plausible way we go down. Like I said, when people start realizing that they're going to start losing money, because a lot of people do not like losing money, when they realize that, hey, they're going to be losing money on games, you know what I'm saying? Even if you were to buy a PS3, right, buy a bunch of games and never play it or never play them, you still know that you can play them, you know what I'm saying? But if you go buy a PS5 all digital edition or an Xbox Series S and it doesn't work anymore, in the next few years, in a couple years after, Microsoft, Sony or Microsoft decides to let's shut the store down, you're done. And it's gonna start catching up with us any day now. And this is how I say this: it's about to start catching up with us, and I promise you that now. And you know why I promise you that? Because guess what? The PS4 and Xbox One, the Xbox One all digital edition. And all these patches, when the PS4 store and the Xbox One store go down, and people realize, hey, we just lost all these games, even the physical games. When they realize, hey, we just lost these games, and what else can we do? They're about to realize this, and when they realize it, they're gonna be really devastated. They're gonna be upset. I guarantee you, they're gonna be pretty freaking upset, and they're gonna be mad, as anybody would be. I know I would be mad, but they're gonna be mad, and they're just gonna be like, ugh. Now their console is going to become a hunk of junk because they can't play them anymore. And in a way, I want to say I can't wait for that to happen. I'll be sad when it does happen, but I am also going to be happy when it does happen, because I want that to be a slap in the face to gamers and companies when the outrage of consoles like that shutting down and the companies realize, hey, we're not going to be able to play games anymore. I really want somebody to start up a physical movement for game consoles again. I really want that. Sure, you can say getting digital is all convenience. So is ordering a physical copy off a game off Amazon. Even doing something like that is a lot better than not physically getting the game. I just think games should be protected, you know what I'm saying? Because look, like I said, the same thing doesn't even just go for games. Like I said, this also doesn't even go for games. This also goes for stuff like CD, for music, or for movies, you know what I'm saying? You want this all digital streaming services? Think about all these movies and music that is going to be lost to time the moment, take your Disney Pluses. Think about any Disney Plus exclusives that come out that will be lost to time because Disney decided we're not going to stream it anymore. We're about to lose a lot of media. This is a dark age for media in general. And, I hate to see the path we're going down, and I really do hope, and something just in me tells me that this is probably going to be, and I don't want to say this because I hate to say this, but something tells me that, especially towards the later portion of this generation, these consoles with the disc drives are going to be completely gone. I guarantee you that by halfway through this generation, those systems with disc drives are going to be completely phased out. And even if they aren't, I guarantee you the next generation won't even have disc drives. I can promise you that now. So when you realize that these next consoles are going to be all digital, and you start to realize that, hey, I'm going to be losing money, don't go crying. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? It'll be your own fault. You know what I'm saying? For the people who support digital. If you support physical like me, only thing we'll be able to do is say, hey, I told you so. And that's when I hope, I hope we get something like that. And I truly do. And I hate to say it, but I truly do hope, the gaming industry receives a wake-up call by either Microsoft or Sony shutting down, like the Xbox One / PS4 stores. I hope they do it halfway through this generation, and while those consoles are still being played and used, I really want these guys to receive a slap in the face so they can start realizing and maybe start protesting that physical becomes a thing again. Because it's like, when people start to realize that, hey, you're going to lose a lot of money, it's going to be a huge slap in the face, and then they're going to be upset, and then they're going to want to cry saying, hey, You know, maybe this digital thing isn't all good, but you know, I've been talking for too long. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bit tired my own self, and I gotta get around to editing this video. It's getting late. But that being said, like I said, there's how I feel on all digital. Let me know down in the comments what do you guys think about the PlayStation stores closing down on all those systems. I think it's bad, and I think it's the first step to a huge slap in the face for the gaming industry as a whole. I think this is a very bad time for gamers and a very bad time for the 7th generation of consoles. Because now we just have Microsoft, and like I said, any day now, that store is going to close down, the Xbox 360 store. And when that store closes down, guess what else? It's going to be any day now to Xbox Live or PSN is shut down, and you know, you guys won't be able to buy any of those games anymore, or games that are just going to be digitally lost to time for good. And you know, like I said, it'll be everyone who supports all digital. It'll be their fault. So then we can run and all blame them. And like I said, a video game crash, while I don't think it's going to happen, I can say it is an option, and I do see one happening. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I can see one happening, possibly, maybe even definitely. I don't know. It's not for me to say, but I do. You know, I get that vibe from this all digital thing. Before I go, I'll actually buy a couple characters, but yeah, I do get that vibe that, hey, maybe we're en route to another video game crash, which would really suck and might just be the end of it. Who knows? Maybe they can't recover this time. You know what I'm saying? If a crash happens, maybe is that a piece of my tooth? Yeah, but maybe they can't recover this time. And what's gonna happen? That's when people are gonna want to cry and say, "Hey, man, maybe this wasn't such a good idea." That's when they'll go cry, and that's when they'll say, "Hey, what are we gonna do? 3 more characters left." But yeah, that being said, let me know down in the comments below what you think of these PlayStation stores closing. Let me also know when you think the Xbox 360 store will decide it's gonna kick the bucket too. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this whole thing. Let me know if you're pro digital, pro physical. Let me know if you are pro digital. Let me know down in the comments if I changed your opinion on it a little bit. You know, that wasn't the intention of this video, but it was just to bring light to this subject a little bit. Well, not to bring light, because it's been covered everywhere, but it's just to give you my opinion and my thoughts on it, because I am pro physical. I will always be pro physical. Even if all digital really does become the future, I will be pro digital forever. You know, and not to lie, I would even prefer companies to offer you the option. Even if they made the digital version, even if they made a physical version super expensive, I would always love for consoles to use, even if they just gave you the option to still have, like they did with this generation, I would love for the option. Even if it's more expensive, I would still love for the option to have physical games. You know what I'm saying? That option is an option I would always take regardless. I don't care if I had to fork out an extra $300. I would do it just to get that. I'm not even joking. It should always be an option at least. That being said, if you're new here, if you could subscribe, that'd be really awesome. We're trying to reach 300 subscribers, and you'd be helping us out a lot. Make sure to share this video with your friends to become a Super Slayer. I've been the old school Sega enthusiast, SEGASLAYER64, and remember, this Friday will be the SEGASLAYER64's guide to PC emulation, and next week will be the Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing bonus video. But until next time, have a good one, Slayers.